I'm Bill Mott for 99.1 FM Talk and My Country KCMY. I recently had the opportunity to speak with Les Smith of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. He'll be at the Rocky Mountain Elk Convention that starts today and continues through Sunday. He'll also be participating in Elk Camp 2011. With Les Smith, he's with the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. You're the regional director here for Nevada. How long have you been with the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation?
I like to tell everybody I'm so brand new that I still have the Christmas wrapping on me. I started just before Christmas, and it's been a great ride, but really busy because I've had not just only the sheep show, but I had Safari Club, and then I've been getting ready for banquets that are starting right away, and then Elk Camp, of course, is coming the first week of March, the 3rd through the 6th of March, and I've got a Reno banquet right before that, so got a lot of stuff going on right now.
How did you get involved with them?
Well, I've been actually involved with Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation for a very long time. Before, in a previous life, I was the outdoor education coordinator for the Nevada Department of Wildlife, and of course I had a great relationship with Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation then. As a matter of fact, I found this job through an old friend who works for Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, and I got him his first job with Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation 15 years ago.
What are they focused on here in Nevada?
A lot of our focus here on Nevada is habitat acquisition and preservation, conservation easements on private ground that allow for development of elk habitat, and also we do a lot of conservation education projects with schools, and we have the world's largest spike camp in Susanville, California. 450 kids will be getting together on the 9th of April this year, 9th of April this year, and enjoying all kinds of outdoor activities.
What sort of projects do you have going currently with the Nevada Department of Wildlife? How are you working with them?
They have a member on what's called our PAC committee, or our Project Action Committee, and we will be meeting in June to set this year's projects. But the kinds of projects we have are like, for instance, the Steptoe Ranch acquisition, and that created one of the big projects we had was the acquisition of the 3C Ranch and the creation of the Steptoe Wildlife Management Area out near Ely. And you can go there right now today and see elk on that property because they winter there and spend a lot of the spring and fall there as well. We also acquired and developed the Howard Ranch in the Jarbidge area, which opened up thousands of acres for elk habitat, wildlife habitat, and also for outdoor recreation.
I hear that Nevada is actually one of the high points for the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. Populations have been good and actually increasing.
Yeah, that's true. Some people love that. I'm one of them. There's some people who don't love that so much. There are a lot of people who would like to see the elk go away, but you know what? We need to all work together for the benefit of the land, and the benefit of wildlife, and for livestock people as well, ranchers as well. And so my point of view on that is that, hey, I'm here to ensure the future of elk, wildlife, and its habitat, and if I can help a rancher or two along the way, I'm more than happy to do it.
What are the goals for the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation as far as Nevada elk? What sort of populations would you like to see?
Well, there's an elk plan in place that was implemented by the Nevada Department of Wildlife some years ago, and so they have a target or a cap that they'd like to keep the elk populations to. So our emphasis is more on preserving and set aside habitat and developing that habitat, again, for the benefit of elk and other wildlife.
What sort of challenges have you got managing the elk herds?
Well, one of the big challenges is there's a lot of demands on a very scarce resource. We are the 50th wettest state in the union, and as a result, we don't have a lot of rangelands and lands available not only for wildlife but also for livestock, and then we have, of course, wild horses as well that need that habitat. And so a lot of our projects, and our biggest challenge is to overcome the limitations of our habitat and this water resource that's so scarce. And we do that through projects in conjunction with other groups like Nevada Bighorns Unlimited, etc., developing water, developing range, opening up areas that are closed in by pinyon juniper, and opening those up so that we can have more grasslands, more brushlands for deer and elk, wildlife, and for livestock as well.
Deer and elk, do they tend to compete for the same areas, or are you going to find them in different areas?
There are a lot of areas where they do cohabit well together, even in the state of Nevada, but there are places where they also compete, because if they have to if there's no forage available for elk, they will browse. And so there is a potential for some competition, but to think in terms of they're mutually exclusive, there's no sound science to back that up.
What are the relationships between those ranches? They have livestock in some of those elk areas. Do they compete with the elk?
Well, there is some competition there. I mean, that it's obvious that elk are eating grass and the cows are eating grass and the sheep are eating grass. But I think that the answer to that is wise management of the elk herds. It's development of the habitat. It's wise management of the livestock herds. And I think if we can all come together on this, it's a problem that can be solved. It is not an impossible thing, and they are definitely not mutually exclusive.
Where do you see the biggest concentrations of elk in Nevada?
Well, our biggest concentrations of elk are in the northeast and the eastern parts of the state. But we are seeing elk moving into the western parts of the state on their own. We've got elk moving south through the Plumas National Forest, headed towards Tahoe. So in the next 10 years or so, we might see elk around the Tahoe Basin. We're seeing a lot of them move in through the Santa Rosas in Humboldt County. We're seeing them move up out of the monitors in the central part of Nevada into more northern mountain ranges.
Are you seeing any wolves move into Nevada? Wolf predation has been a problem for Idaho and Montana. Are we starting to see it in Nevada now?
It's funny you should mention that, because the official stand of the wolves on the part of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation is that we urge lawmakers to make wolves a huntable species, to delist them and have them be a species that we can manage as state agencies. Right now, we're only seeing incidental incursions of wolves in northern Nevada, mainly northeastern Nevada. They're there. I think everybody's kind of holding their breath to see what's going to happen. These wolves are very successful. They're the big success story of the Fish and Wildlife Service in terms of reintroducing a species. And they're getting to the point where they're creating problems for wildlife and for livestock as well.
Now, if folks want to get in touch with you, how can they do that with the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation and specifically with the local organization here in Nevada and in the Reno area?
Well, I don't want anybody calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning, but my cell number is 775-830-7334, and they can reach me there. Also, my email address is lsmith, as in Les Smith, lsmith@rmef.org.
Thank you very much, Les.